Donald Trump's former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, is officially now under investigation for potential voter fraud in the state of North Carolina. Now, we talked about this story when it first came out, so just to rehash what happened here before we get into the new information. Mark Meadows, Donald Trump's chief of staff, prior to the 2020 presidential election, rented a trailer, a mobile home, in the state of North Carolina, and said, "This is my place of abode," which, of course, according to North Carolina law, it has to be your place of abode, that's the way the law is written, if that's where you're going to claim residency to vote. And at the time, it came out that Mark Meadows, according to the owner of the mobile home, never spent a single night there. His wife went there. I think a couple of his kids went there at one point. But Mark Meadows himself never spent the night there, and the rest of the family only spent maybe a night or two there. But either way, Meadows said, "Nope, this is where I live. This is my place of abode. I'm voting from here." Now, at the same time, and this is the new information, this is kind of what led the North Carolina Attorney General and the Board of Elections to say, okay, we do need to look into this. Meadows and his wife were actually renting a condo in Virginia. You know, because Meadows worked in the White House. So he had to be able to get there quick. It's a bit of a drive from North Carolina where the mobile home was located. So he was living in Virginia in a condo with his wife. And if he voted in North Carolina, on the surface it would appear 100% that this was illegal, that this was in fact the voter fraud that Mark Meadows and his boss Donald Trump thought was all over the place, but turns out it was coming from inside the White House the whole time. So now you have the North Carolina Attorney General that says, listen, we're going to be investigating this. We're going to be working with the State Board of Elections to try to figure this out, and we're going to move forward with any kind of criminal charges, criminal penalties, if the evidence suggests we should. But here's where things get even more interesting. Macon County District Attorney Ashley Welch is the one who requested the investigation. And Welch happens to be a staunch political ally of Mr. Meadows. See, back when Welch was running for office the first time, I think it was back in 2014, Meadows gave her money. He appeared in her campaign ads, right? She was trying to piggyback off of his success as a North Carolina member of the U.S. House of Representatives. So he was featured. They were buddies. Everything was great. But apparently, the evidence is overwhelming already based on what we know publicly, that even Welch, who kind of has to hand her political career to the credit of Mark Meadows, says, I have to investigate this. You know, we can't ignore this. We can't pretend this didn't happen because it looks really bad. And Welch, of course, has admitted, she's like, yeah, I took money from him. He was in my campaign ads, but hey, law's the law. And now Mark Meadows might soon find out that voter fraud is very real, and he may be the one that committed it. Thanks for watching, and if you like what you saw, don't forget to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to our Ring of Fire channel here.